All right, and we're live here, Ramlog's weekly broadcast number three. This one we're going to talk about our trip up into the Adirondacks and Vermont, our Hudson Loop, with some travel recommendations for people who might be interested in a little getaway from New York. And then in the middle there, we'll take a little diversion to talk about great ferry rides, because we're ferry people, Robin, is that correct?
That's right. We do love our ferries.
We love our ferries. And with that, I think we'll get started. Anything else specific you want to call out?
No, I think we got that covered. It'll be a nice tour today.
Awesome. And we're drinking a lovely Chilean Malbec. So Chilean Malbecs to everyone.
Cheers.
Okay, good. I was worried you were going to have me drinking alone. So to get started, I guess we can look at our trip, right? So let me load that up.
Yeah.
Righto. All right, so you can see my trip here, right? Sort of. Let me click on it.
Yeah, we can load up the
I think it's all.
map.
I think it's all here. Okay. So the idea is we headed out north to the Storm King Arts Center first, which is just west of West Point, and then we stayed outside of Newburgh that first night. We're also hearing really good things about Minnewaska State Park, which is a little bit further up. But we wound up at Storm King, and Storm King was a lot of fun. We'll have some art and highlights from Storm King a little bit later on. Spent some time there, had dinner by the waterfront in Newburgh, which was nice, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very nice. It's coming together up there. It's a growing area.
Up and coming. Up and
Yes.
coming, we refer to it as. But then we had a nice long drive up to Saratoga Springs. Where's Saratoga? It's in here. Whoa. 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 Did you do
It
that,
is in
Robin?
there.
There it is.
Um,
Hang on.
there it
There it
is.
is. Saratoga Race Course. Had a nice stop off in Saratoga.
And we won some money.
Won some money. Won a nice trifecta bet, which was fun. So Saratoga's a cool town. Um, Skidmore College is there, and the race course was there. So we were there on the last day of the racing season, which was pretty cool. Then we headed up from there, past Lake George, up into Lake Placid, New York, which was up in the Adirondacks, which was a lot of fun. Spent some time seeing the sights around there, went to Cascade Mountain, climbed a little bit of a mountain or two, and headed back across the ferry. And this is the whole ferry theme that we're a little partial to, up into Burlington, Vermont. Spent a little time in Burlington, did a great little bike ride up in Burlington that we'll recommend to you. Came back around, stayed in Waitsfield, Vermont, in the Mad River Glen Valley, and then came back down through Vermont and all the way back to New York. And it was nice. We spent about a week, the week after Labor Day, and it was definitely a good trip. So what are you thinking? Their co-pilot, partner in crime. What do you think we should show first? Should we a little bit of Storm King
Yeah, we can
activity?
show a little bit of Storm King. I can pull that up and we can show it from the website. So let me do that.
Let's do that. So Storm King is an art center. It's set in about 500 acres worth of property just across the New York State border in New York, just north of New Jersey. And this is a shot of our bike tour of the Storm
Yeah.
King Art Center. Is that right, Robin?
Yeah, so we were able to rent bikes. They allow you to rent bikes on site, so you can bring your own bikes. But once you get there, we highly recommend renting bikes. And as you can see, we picked it up and we rode around the entire art center.
Can you
And
zoom in a little on
we
that?
I can. Give me 1 second.
Sure. There it is.
Yes.
That's cool. And the drive up there wasn't so bad, right? It's about an hour north of New York.
Yeah, yeah, and I think there's other means of getting up there as well. I think they have a relationship probably with Zipcar, and you can take a bus out there and do a day tour
There's a
and go.
bus
What's
that I believe is popular with the Chinese tourists, which stops at Woodbury Commons and
yes,
uh, and Storm King, which we would recommend. But anyway, rent the bikes. It's like what, 20 bucks, 30 bucks, something like that for the bikes.
yeah, for the day. Yeah,
But you can see the level to which we were riding around out there. There's a lot to see, right?
yeah. There's a amazing lot to see, and as you get to know the space, you realize how far the distance is between the sculptures, and having a bike is a very nice thing to have to be able to just kind of navigate around and through and within the sculptures. So we highly recommend the bikes. It's a good way to see the whole place on one day.
Yep.
And these are some photos. So I'm gonna load a couple of them up, and we can take a look at that as well. So this is the mermaid shot.
Lichtenstein, right? Ray Lichtenstein, I think his name is,
Yes.
I believe.
And this was an amazing sculpture. It's a moving sculpture.
You
And
gotta see it moving though, because it's like these are like rotating arms of the dancer's arms. You see what I'm doing, honey? You see this?
I
Oh, you
don't.
can't see that. Okay, trust me, I was being very
I just saw
interpretive
that.
dance like
Yeah. Did you put that in? And there was a exhibit there on the Buddha, which was really great to see. And this is a nice close-up of that.
Yep. I think it was one of them at least was called Long Island Buddha. This gives you a sense that next shot
Yeah.
that gives you a real sense of the scale, right? Like the size, the 500-acre grounds, which are gorgeous and enormous. It'd be fun to go back there now, right, with the leaves changing.
Oh yeah, it'd be so gorgeous. Everything would be so multicolored if you look
Yeah.
at it because it's very outdoors. It's surrounded by mountains. It's a massive space, and you can really see the scale. And with the change in the leaves at this time of year, it would just be psychedelically awesome.
Wow, that's saying something. Cool. So other stuff too. Here's me sporting around on my bike with Robin taking some shots.
Yeah, so you get a sense of how large the sculptures are, and the folks looking at it and riding around.
You also get a sense at how expert I am at taking photographs while riding around on my bike. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, absolutely. But that's Storm King, and we could talk about some of the other places we've also went to on our trip.
So from Storm King, we went up to the racetrack, right? Went to Saratoga Springs.
Yes, we went to Saratoga Springs, and I have a shot of the horse race, of one of the horse races that we looked at. And this is just kind of a quick view of photographs of a slideshow, so we can see, as the horses turned the bend and they came into focus, how they've, you can get a sense of the race this way.
This is where you were banging on your racing. You were saying, "Go, go, horse, go, horse! Win me some money, horse!"
Yes, absolutely. You know, that was amazing to be able
And
to
then it
win.
was crazy that we won the trifecta. We won a huge $1,000 payoff on like a $20 bet, right? It was pretty great.
It was great.
Yeah.
It
So
was unexpected.
and then we got the hell out of there, right? Like, so we won. We were like, "That's it. Thank you for that," and we just got the hell out of Dodge. So that was fun. Definitely recommend Saratoga. And the town is nice too, right? Saratoga Springs, kind of artsy, upscale, nice, and where we stayed was nice too. Like we stayed at the Comfort Inn, I think, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very nice and just kind of a relaxing, spend the night. And you can walk from the hotel to the downtown area, and there are plenty of restaurants, and it was a nice night. So people were out. There were places you can sit outside. We had dinner just in that side of the old hotel, I believe it was.
Yeah, Maestro's, I think was the name of the place, which was good. We wound up having better food later, but the food was pretty good there in Saratoga Springs. And also, we had a nice meal out in Newburgh as well, right on the water. So that was cool. And then from there, we zipped up to Lake Placid, right? Was next up in the
Yes.
Adirondacks. And
Yes, we went up to Lake Placid.
stayed right next to Mirror Lake, which was very cool. And then we did two hikes, right? We did Mount Joe first,
Yes.
and then we did Cascade Mountain second, right?
Cascade Mountain. I can show a little bit of the Mount Joe video if you like.
Sure.
Let's do that. Pop it up. Where's my
Can you go large?
Where is my full screen?
It's okay. We get the idea. So Mount Joe was cool, right? Nice hike.
Yeah.
Short, steep climb, I hear. And then you get to, it's a nice reward though, right? You get to that,
Yeah. It's a great reward. It's amazing.
and that
But you
summit,
get a
go ahead. You're going to say something? That summit was nice, like it was chill. The next summit at Cascade was a little more intense, but we had fun. We definitely recommend Mount Joe. Mount Joe's like sort of like a 2-3 hour thing, and then we did Cascade Mountain the second day, and that was more like a full half-day hike because Cascade Mountain was serious, right? Like that was more of a climb, right?
Yes, yes, Cascade Mountain was much more of a climb, and I'll show you a little bit of what that means in terms of the. So if you can see this is a little bit about the elevation of the Cascade Mountain. It's the first of the high peak, so this is about 4,000 feet up in the air.
Yeah, so there are 46 high peaks in the Adirondacks, right? So like 46 mountains that are 4,000 feet or taller. And Cascade is supposed to be one of the easier ones to climb, although you could have fooled us because
Yes.
it was challenging. They call it a moderate hike, but it's certainly challenging. There you get a sense of what the summit looks like.
Some of this like, yeah. So there's a moment when we get to this, particularly where this photograph was taken, and you're like, oh, right, I'm supposed to climb that. Okay, sure, we'll do that.
Yeah.
We did. We did do it. And we got on top and we were able to see the surrounds, which is so amazing. And this was earlier in the day, in the morning, so it's a little cool up there, a little windy. And we were lucky that it was clear when we got up to the top. I think a woman had gotten there before us and it wasn't as clear. But by the time we got up there, it was so clear you could see all the way around. And it was just magnificent and gorgeous. And you just come to terms with the fact that you are in the clouds, literally.
Yeah, it was awesome. So that hike was very cool. We may do other high peaks. If you're not an intense mountain climber, it's still probably not too much for you. It's a workout, but like you can do it. Like it's a good level of challenge, I think, right? Like it wasn't too much. It was just enough, right?
Yeah, it's a nice challenge. It's long, so you have to just prepare yourself for the length of it. But overall, you can walk the path and really climb the mountain. It's a good moderate hike, but it takes some work.
I was complaining about my sandals, right? I did it in my Keen sandals, which I love, but it was a little much, I thought. I would have liked slightly sturdier footwear. And then your boots, I think, were giving you a little bit of trouble. So like it is like, bring enough water, know what you're doing, but also it gets pretty crowded. People help each other. It was fun, right?
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun, and we just recommend it and go early and really enjoy the walk through the mountain and just relax and enjoy it. It's great.
Yeah, Mount Joe is a little more relaxing at the summit, right? Like Cascade is kind of intense. Like you're up on the mountain top, it's bald, windy. You're like, this is awesome, yet I could fall to my imminent death, right? Like it's a nice,
Yeah, Cascade is very much you're on top of a really tall mountain.
yeah,
Whereas Mount Joe is you're on top of a mountain, yes, but you feel okay, I can sit back and relax a little here.
yeah, yeah. You were kind of sunning yourself. There's a good shot of you like chilling, like we're eating some
Yeah.
sun chips. There are chipmunks messing with us. It's a fun scene, but like,
Yeah.
there's no chipmunks like scrounging for sun chips on the top of Cascade Mountain. Like Cascade Mountain's a little more like you're climbing a mountain, as opposed to Mount Joe is more like a pleasant steep hike though. It's a
Yes,
steep hike.
it is a steep hike.
So we were pretty tired after those two hikes and figured it was time to take a ferry to Vermont to set up for like a 20-mile bike ride the next day, right?
Yes. And so we took the ferry across, and it was a great ferry ride. Do we want to show any of that, or
I don't know if we have any of that stuff, but it was Lake Champlain. You basically take the, I can show the map again to show you where it was at. So it's all the way up here. So we were pretty far up there, almost to Montreal. So there's Cascade Mountain. And then from Cascade Mountain, we'll pretend we drove this way, but we actually wound up going back down this way, but we don't talk about that. And went up out to Essex, New York, and took a great little ferry ride. Took a little while, too, right? Across Lake
yeah,
Champlain.
it's a long ferry ride. It's not that long, but it's long enough that you spend some time really getting to know the river.
Yeah, it was cool. And it was a lake. It gets big up there. It's the Hudson River, but it becomes a big lake. And the Burlington, because we're on our way up to Burlington here, and Burlington, Vermont, is the home of the Burlington Lake Monsters, who play somewhere up around here. That's their minor league baseball team. And we stayed at the Hotel Vermont, which was really nice. It's down here somewhere. Come out, Hotel Vermont. Where was it? Right here. There it is, Hotel Vermont. Uh, so we need to give it a positive review because it doesn't have
Yeah, it
one.
was really beautiful.
And then we rented bikes from somewhere around here. Rented bikes and then rode along the causeway.
The
Rode along
causeway.
yeah, so see this trail along here? We rode our bikes all the way along here up into this causeway that runs north of Burlington up into, I think it's called Colchester or something, but see this little sliver of something here? That's where we rode
That's
our
what we
bikes.
rode.
Oh,
Yes,
wow.
and you can see the break in the water too. I have a couple of pictures of a close up, but if you look at at the the water, you can see the break, and I'll show you a bit of the photographs of that break where the bike ferry would be available, but we missed it for the season.
I think it's right here
Um,
because we wanted to make it to South Hero Island, but we didn't. Do you have any shots from there, Robin?
yes, I have a couple of shots from
You
there.
want to go on screen share?
Yeah, I'm on.
Okay, cool.
So, here's a couple of shots from there. So when you get to that break, we're on the one side, and the water goes it's pretty steep there. But if the bike ferry was working, we'd be able to take the ferry across and arrive at the other side, at the other ferry dock. But it was not working, so we all got to that spot and just watched the other side and watched as the boat passed through. So it's quite a throughway, that waterway. But it was great that overall the bikeway was amazing. It was
Yeah, it was
so
very cool.
amazing.
And
So this
that
is a shot
that's
of the ferry dock.
South Hero Island is what that's called, that we didn't get to. South Hero Island across the bike ferry there. And the bike ferry runs weekends, I think, until around October, and it runs all during the week up until Labor Day. But we were up there just after Labor Day. I think it was like this is like the Wednesday after Labor Day or something like that, Thursday after Labor Day.
Yeah.
So the ferry wasn't running. But it was a great ride up there. It's probably about 10 miles up or so. 10 miles up, 10 miles back.
Yeah, and this
Uh,
is a shot of
Causeway,
the
yeah.
causeway, and as you can see, it's good size, and but there's water on either side. So even looking at the map, it's just strip, and it was pretty windy heading back, but it was a great ride. It was so straight and enjoyable.
Yeah, it was great going out. We didn't realize how strong the wind was until we were riding back. Because it was like, hey, this is fun. Look at us. We're making great time. This is easy. We did 10 miles. And then on our way back, it was like, oh my
Oh,
God, this is hard. Yeah.
lots of wind, but
So that
that's
was that was Burlington. Then we had a nice meal right at the Pen of the Woods, right?
yes, it was
Great.
amazing.
Probably the best meal we've had in quite some time. Really great meal on the trip. Definitely recommend it. It's right next to the Hotel Vermont. And then we headed down to Waitsfield, Vermont, and the inn at Round Barn, I guess, something like that. Inn at the Round
Brown
Barn.
farm,
Round
yeah.
Farm. Yeah, so that was a nice little bed and breakfast, just sort of off the grid. And then looped back around, came down, stayed in Albany, at a mediocre to bed and breakfast that we won't even mention because they were terrible. But Albany was nice. We got to meet up with Grace and her husband Joe, some friends of ours, which was nice. And that brought us back home, right?
Yeah, it was a great trip, and I have a quick view here of the loop that we did. So I'll just give you a quick view of that.
Oh, the whole trip loop.
Yeah, it's a nice trip loop. So this is our loop of the trip here.
Awesome. Yeah, so it
But
was a great trip. Definitely recommend it highly. And we love ferries. So the other thing we were going to talk about was ferries. Do we have that in the? Do we want to even talk about ferries? Should we just wrap it up? What do you say?
um, I think we could just wrap it up. Actually,
All right, we love ferries, and we'll
we
talk
do love
about ferries more in
ferries.
the future. There was a nice ferry in the middle here, from Essex, New York to Charlotte, Vermont, across Lake Champlain. We battled off the Champagne Lake Monster, where we have some video footage of that will up on the website, right? Like if people want to see us battling the Lake Monster of Lake Champlain, you should go to the website, right? Ramlog.com.
Yes. Yes, go to ramlock.com, and we've documented our trips there. So if you want to see us battle some lake monsters, that's the place to find the information.
We may not, that story may not be up yet. I think we're having some contractual issues with the Lake Monsters agent. But if we can get the releases signed, you'll see Robin battling the Lake Monster from the ferry, which will be very exciting. And we'll come back next week. We'll figure out what we want to talk about this week. I think we kept it kind of short and sweet, but it was a great trip that we had, and definitely would recommend it to anybody looking for a getaway. If you're in New York, Storm King's close. It's a nice little getaway up to Storm King. And then up a little further is Saratoga Springs. Lake Placid and the Adirondacks were gorgeous. Like we did our first of what may be 46. We'll see how many we do. But but it was one of 40. We've done at least one of 46, right? So we'll see where
Well,
we
we've
go.
got our first high peak, so we'll see how the next high peak comes. But
Let
you
it
never
come.
know, we might get all 46 in.
There's hope. There is
There
hope.
is hope.
Mount Joe, definitely a good one to check out. The rent bikes up in Burlington, get that bike ride in. We didn't even show the North Beach area. Burlington was great. Nice and shallow on Lake Champlain. It's gorgeous, really, really pretty up there. Nice parks really all along the water there, and a nice town, college town kind of vibe in Burlington. We did stop also at the Ben and Jerry's factory tour, which was okay. You know, it's like kind of like a half hour stop off. Not awesome. It was okay. Cheap, and
Yeah, and
you
it's
get like free ice cream, right?
yeah, they get you in and they get you out pretty quickly. You go up the stairs and then you come down the stairs. That's really the bulk of it. But you get free
But
ice cream.
and then we stopped off briefly in Montpelier too, right? Which was pretty cool.
Oh,
And
that was so awesome. There's so many bookstores there. It was very unexpected to walk around. There were three or four bookstores within such a small radius. So if you're like me and you love bookstores, it's a great stop to make. You'll find many bookstores there. Um,
yeah,
really nice clothing stores as well. I picked up a couple of things there. It was great.
yeah. So Montpelier is kind of quirky. It was one of those places where I saw like a real life manifestation of keep Vermont weird, which people like to say in Vermont. In Montpelier, you'll realize what they mean. There's a little bit of a weirdness to it, but it was nice. You know, like Burlington's a little more cosmopolitan college town, young college town, but cool. But Montpelier feels more like off the grid, quirky, um, but cool. Like nice culture.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very cool. We did get a rhubarb wine, so that's kind of a
right.
quirky thing that one would find in
Yeah.
Montpelier.
There's nothing but rhubarb wine in Montpelier. And then on the way back down, we nice drive through sort of rural Vermont, which was beautiful. I hadn't really done that before, and I think we may want to go back up again. I know it's big. Went through some ski towns and such, but it was nice to be there in the summer. And then actually Albany was pretty nice as well, right? Like we got nice tour of Smallbany, right?
Smallbony. It was kind of amazing. The I didn't realize how big the main downtown area is in terms of the the, the courthouse and the square
Yeah,
down there. Mall.
the
Yeah,
big
it's
mall,
very
yeah,
kind of a replica of DC a little bit
yeah,
in the style of it, but
Big
it's just kind
A,
of amazing and the building is just phenomenal.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. So Albany, Smallbany, worth checking out. It was interesting, and the whole trip it was like 540 miles, something like that, right? So we kept it sort of contained. There's another trip that we'll probably talk about soon, which was our trip out into Pennsylvania, where we had a couple of quick stops. That was a little shorter, but that's maybe next week or in upcoming weeks. We'll talk about that one too, because we've done a nice job, I think, of like sort of the local tourism as opposed to flying to Europe or flying to Timbuktu. Like we were able to explore some local flavor, and we'll try to mix that up too. I think we'll want to cover all ranges of sort of exploring the world around us. But these are some nice examples of, you know, the nice thing about this trip was there was no ride longer than say like 3 hours in any given day. So like we stayed at a different hotel every night, hotel or bed and breakfast, and no drive was longer than say 3.5 hours. So it kept it contained, and I guess we were out like five or six nights, right? Something like that.
yeah, yeah, it was really great. I think yeah, probably 5 nights, 6 nights at hotels, and but the road trip was very nice in that you plan to you go do a day tour. You know, like you take a day trip and then you stay over and you take another day trip. So all the drives were really nice and well contained. They weren't too long. So by the time you get to a place, you get there early, you enjoy the day and you enjoy the evening, and you can still wake up in the morning and go do something else. And I think that's great. And just even from New York, being able to just jump off and get in the car and go on a nice road trip like this within the local vicinity of the state and head over to Vermont a little bit and head back down into New York has been really great.
It really gets you to feel like you're off the grid. You know, like that was the nice thing. Like when you're in New York, like there's so much noise and so much, intensity to being in the city, and it was great just like Mount Joe, just chilling by the lake in Mount Joe before we climbed up the mountain, and then we climbed up the short climb, and then you're hanging out up there eating some sun chips with some chipmunks, and you're like, where am I? And then the next day we're at the top of a mountain and we ride a ferry across the water and then we're biking into the causeway. That's awesome. Then we're out in the middle of Vermont at a bed and breakfast, chilling in some hammocks. It was great. So we'll have all that information up on the website. We'll definitely try to share these types of things moving forward. Any other thoughts tonight, Robin? Anything else you wanted to touch on?
I would say just make a point of getting out and enjoying what's around. And this trip was a real great example of that. Just get out and have a good time and explore and take some hikes and climb some mountains and ride some causeways and just have a blast.
Awesome. All right, cool. So anything else? I'm going to hit stop.
I think that's it. It's been great.
All right, you
See
hang
you
up.
guys next week.
You hang up first. No, you hang up. I'm kidding. I'll hang up. All right, thanks, everybody. Bye.
Okay.